Listen to this podcast now
on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Leadership Thread with Dr. Peggy Polonis.
I'm Dr. Peggy Polonis. Join me on each episode where I unravel the story that shaped leaders, tracing the thread that led them where they are today. Because leadership isn't born in adulthood. And thank you once again for joining us on the Leadership Thread, education, ethics, and sustainability.
Download all of Red Apple Media's podcasts right now through your favorite podcast platform.
Taxi! This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Let's go to Bill O'Reilly.
Absolutely. Bill O'Reilly, the great top nonfiction best-selling author. Bill, we love you. First of all, it is freezing cold out here, and sadly, there have been so many deaths of late, and you want to talk about that in Mamdani?
Yeah. So the Punxsutawney Phil saw Mamdani's shadow, and he's never coming out.
Do you blame him?
Never coming out again.
I mean, what a mess we have in the streets. And we got Dominic Carter is going to come back at 5:30 to talk about what a mess in the streets between the garbage and the snow turned to ice. Nobody can get their cars up.
And the homeless
and the
encampments.
bus stops are blocked.
Yep.
And 14 people died.
I just checked with the coroner. 16 people are dead in New York City.
And by the way, of that, I just saw the same thing, Bill. 13 hypothermia, 3 died of overdose, but the 3 were outside. So 16 outside. That's a lot of deaths.
That's why they don't want to go to the warming center, so they can't use their narcotics there. But this is a good, interesting story on a lot of different fronts. So in the past, I think going all the way back to Fiorello LaGuardia, the police in cold snaps like this, and this is the worst one in 65 years in New York, were given mandates to take everybody off the streets who they feel, the police officers felt, were in danger. And they had to go. And here's a little aside. I don't know if you guys know that. They put them in paddy wagons. Remember the term paddy wagons?
Yeah, I haven't heard that in a while.
Well, it came from the Irish because so many Irish were intoxicated. They threw them in these wagons, and the cops nicknamed the wagons paddy wagons. That's how it came into the lexicon. Anyway, you can't say it now because it's too politically incorrect, although nothing offends me, so if you want to say paddy wagon, go ahead. So Mamdani is sitting there, and he overrides because Tish wanted to impose the mandatory, you got to get off the street into the warming center. And he said no. And she works for him. So why? What is his thinking? And this is what I mean about Mamdani. Is there anybody who can get to this guy and say, why are you allowing this now that we have 13 people dead? That's a lot of people.
In other words, let's get this straight. That Jessica Tish, the police commissioner, said to Mamdani what?
Tish wanted to enforce what has always been enforced here. Once it gets dangerously cold and an officer feels that a person is in danger, they can remove the person without the person's permission.
And the mayor said no?
To a warming center. And Mamdani said no.
So, I mean, I think that's I hate to say the words quasi-murder. I mean, I don't. What else would you call it?
What my problem is here is what is the reasoning? See, I don't understand. Usually, there's two sides to a story, right? And then Mamdani is getting the reports. They didn't all die at once. Okay, so they're dying. He's getting the reports from the coroner's office, and he's still not changing his policy. I mean, this is to the extent where I told everybody, and you guys, I didn't have to tell because you knew it. If you elect a 35-year-old, whatever his name
34.
is, with no experience at all, nothing is going to work. Okay? Your streets aren't going to be cleaned. They're not going to be plowed. The homeless people are going to die. The narcotics is going to overrun the city. The children aren't going to go to school. Nothing is going to work. And we're just seeing the beginning of it.
You know, Bill, I'm looking at Judge Weinberg and John, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. John hit on the point, is there some culpability? Is it some sort of negligence? I mean, if you say, okay, I could bring him inside, but I'm not.
When your police commissioner says, I want to go pick him up and put him away, then and the mayor specifically says don't do it.
Right.
I mean, that doesn't pass the smell test.
And it's freezing cold. And it's to your point, this has been the biggest cold spat in decades. And the history was to bring them inside. He's always had this policy. He came out and said he doesn't want to move the homeless encampments. But I mean, when it's freezing cold, it seems like there's some sort of, I'm just throwing it out there, it seems negligent.
Well, the families of the homeless people, if they have families, could sue the city, probably win, and Hochul could override the order. There you go.
That's serious stuff.
Yeah, by the way, Bill, did you see Hochul came out also, the other big story, and also Mamdani. It says that he's going to be doing this order coming out soon, essentially no cooperation with jails. And that includes Rikers, everything else. What do you make of that?
What's the order, Rita?
It's going to be a state order, and also Mamdani is the same way, essentially saying that they will not hand over those individuals.
With ICE,
no cooperation
handing
with
over
ICE.
Prisoners.
No, and prisoners, and it goes all the way. Obviously, all jails, all locations, including Rikers, because remember Adams was trying to set up that office there.
Well, look, President Trump has got to handle this in Minnesota and get it into the court system. So that would prevent Hochul from doing that. It's clearly to me in the supremacy clause an illegal act by the governor of New York if she chooses to do that. But unless you start to enforce these things. So today, Mayor Fry of Minneapolis is gathering his materials to answer a federal subpoena tomorrow where he has to hand over every document, all the things that he did in not cooperating with federal agents on the removal of criminal aliens. It's due at 9 a.m. Minnesota time tomorrow morning. I thought that Fry himself was going to have to testify, but he isn't. And so that the Justice Department is moving against Minnesota, and they're moving against it in a very aggressive way, but not in a transparent way. I can't find out stuff. It's driving me nuts. I'm getting stonewalled about, okay, so the FBI executed these subpoenas. Is the FBI investigating the governor of Minnesota and the mayor of Minneapolis for insurrection? It doesn't appear that they are now. They're investigating them, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is, for obstruction of justice. Now, why doesn't the FBI chief, Kash Patel, come out and say that? See, I am all weekend. I had my staff try to kick in doors here. So what Hochul and Newsom and the others, Pritzker in Illinois, are seeing is we can get away with this because the federal government isn't going to punish us. And until the Trump administration starts punishing, this is going to continue.
And you have the DA in Philadelphia who's now threatened to bring actions against ICE officials after Trump leaves office.
Well, Shapiro, the governor there, doesn't take this guy Krasner seriously. Although I don't think that's an excuse. If I'm the governor, I slap him down real fast. See, what this is all about is disorder. And the far left in America hate Trump so much. They are fine with rising disorder that reflects poorly on the president. They're helping it, enabling it. That's the strategy. Create so much chaos that the Democrats win the midterms. And here's a really easy way to do it. not cooperating.
Bill, they succeeded on one thing. They took off the front page the billions of dollars that were stolen or misappropriated, whatever the word is. It's off the front page, and on the front page is get ICE. Now, where do we go from here?
Well, we go from here either one or two directions. The Justice Department under Mamdani is going to have to charge some public officials with crimes, federal crimes.
When was the last time you saw one of those governors or anything go to jail other than Rod Blagojevich?
A whole bunch of governors in Illinois went to jail.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a string of them.
Yeah, but they were local beefs. Most of those were local beefs.
Right. That was mere corruption.
The federal government,
mere corruption.
Yeah, doesn't want to do that because it creates so much hysteria that, again, I don't know if that would help Donald Trump or not. If you have this civil war going on. The other way you can do it, John, and you ask a good question, is to just slap a temporary pause in all aid to the state of Minnesota. You don't get any money.
I have a question, Bill, because you brought up a great point a minute or two ago. You brought up a lot of great points, but you brought up the point that sort of this sort of red line was drawn. President Trump said, okay, February 1st, we're going to stop federal funds to sanctuary cities. The date is now past that. It's the 2nd. So how do you think the Trump administration should handle this? And then recently we've heard in the last maybe like week or so, a lot of the folks, I mean, you hear it from the president, you hear it from Holman, you hear it from others saying, we're going to crack down on the funders of these protests. So where do you see both of those things going?
Well, the polling on Trump has got to watch the polling. And right now he's declining because the popular opinion, the Hollywood idiots and, the corrupt news agencies, they're portraying him as a fascist Nazi. And most people don't pay attention to the news. They listen to rap music all day, the malevolent rabbit. They don't know what's going on. So they form impressions. So Trump they're saying, all right, if we go full tilt against Minnesota, is that going to help or hurt us in the midterm elections? That is a real key here. But if they do decide to slap a temporary, and you have to say temporary because Congress, of course, is the one that doles out the money. But you can say, listen, in these areas, we're going to hold up all federal money going in until we investigate whether this is an insurrection or not. It looks like it is, but we have to send our agents in and do interviews. So in the meantime, you're not getting any money.
Now, the most important question, Bill O'Reilly. Are you going to watch the halftime of the Super Bowl?
I'll be there.
So are you
close your eyes.
Close your eyes during the halftime.
No, I want to see the bunny guy. I want to see exactly what happens with him. I want to see the crowd reaction. The NFL is at a big spot here because if he starts to rant and rave during that halftime show, that is going to reflect on the National Football League because they chose him. And right now, there's a press conference going on with Roger Goodell, the NFL chief out in San Jose. He's got some problems, Roger, and I will be seeing him on Friday night.
Well, you'll fill us in whenever you come back. Next Monday.
No, I'll be happy to do that. Next Monday, I will be right there.
I can't wait to hear. Wow.
I think I'm staying in the same hotel as the Bad Bunny. I don't know if they give bunnies sweets or what do they do. They may have a bunny section. But I would be surprised if I run into them.
Well, let us know. Keep us posted. Keep us, right, Bill. You're our eyes and ears on the ground. I can't wait to hear, Bill. That's going to be an experience.
The Bunny Report.
Yeah, Bunny Report.
The Bunny Report. Breaking news from Bill O'Reilly.
We love it, Bill. Thank you, and awesome, and have a great time too. It's always a great show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you so much.
If you're thinking about changing schools,
Why wait? At Manhattan University, love those guys. You don't have to start over. With transfer-friendly pathways, your credits count, and you keep moving forward. From day one, you're part of Jasper Nation, preparing for the real world. And with New York City just a train away, opportunity is everywhere. Ready to move forward without missing a step? Visit manhattan.edu/transfer and enroll today. Manhattan University. Don't start over, move forward.